A lot of people in New York think that in order to bring a brand to market, you have to get licensed. Can the beverage company partner with a processor or manufacturer license to make their products and bring them to market? All right, well, hi, good morning, everyone. I'm so honored to have this opportunity to talk to this room and hopefully help you guys not make the same mistakes I've made over the last 4 years. I have no background in marketing or branding, so don't worry if you don't either. I learned this all from other mentors that were willing to share their expertise with me, and I'm just here to pass that on to all of you. And I'm about to teach you what I learned in 4 years in 10 minutes. I'm going to go very quickly, so just know that at the end of this presentation, there will be a QR code that you can scan that will bring you to a website with a bunch of links and helpful information. So how many of you currently have a brand? Show of hands. Wow. Oh my God, almost the whole room. That's amazing. I wasn't expecting that. Well, all right, well, hopefully I can help you guys figure out how to get to market with a compliant product today. But one of the brands that we brought to market is Head & Heel. And I started Head & Heel teaching myself how to use Adobe Illustrator. And I created what you see on the left and began selling it at our local farmers market, bottle by bottle. And over time, the brand has evolved. And now what you see on the left is our tincture line that we just launched into all of the New York dispensaries. So here to say your brand doesn't have to look perfect from the start. It will evolve over time, and it will just get better and better. So a lot of people in New York think that in order to bring a brand to market, you have to be an operator, you have to get licensed. That is not necessarily true. So I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with Can, the beverage company. They have launched into New York dispensaries. They do not own a license. What they did was partner with a processor or manufacturer license to make their products and bring them to market. So not only do I run our brands, but we also have a cultivation license and a manufacturing license, and we manufacture for other brands. So how do you find one of these partners? The OCM has a list of the 40 of us on their website. It will also be linked on my site because it's impossible to find on theirs. And you'll get all of the email addresses and phone numbers, and you can just go down that list and start calling people to see if they're open to manufacturing your products. All right, what to look for in a manufacturing partner? Be careful. You never know. You're getting married to this person for years. Your business is in their hands. So do your due diligence, reference checks, LinkedIn searches, search their name for lawsuits, make sure you know who you are getting in bed with. Build a solid relationship. Make sure that you can work together in the best of times and the worst of times. You need to make sure that it's somebody you have great communication with, because things will get hard and challenging and frustrating. Any processor that you're going to work with should allow you to tour their facility. Ask as many questions as you want. Preferably, they would have experience bringing a compliant product to market so that they could advise you along the way and make sure that everything you're doing is correct so that when you bring it to the dispensary, it doesn't get rejected. And make sure you have a contract and a lawyer to review it, understand your terms, and most of all, be realistic about timelines. Building a brand took me 4 years. And I'm going to go through those steps now on a timeline of what it would take to build a brand. I would say that in the shortest amount of time, it takes 6 months, if you're very lucky. Usually about a year, because there are all of these steps and more to building a brand. All right, this is my big warning. Do not begin designing your brand without a very clear understanding of the regulations. This is a very brief view of the 30-page document of required information on your packaging in New York State. It is unlike any other state. You can't look at California packaging and say, ooh, I'm gonna have this simple, beautiful, sleek design, because there is a lot of information required to go on the front of your packaging. There are a lot of warnings, and you need to design your brand really around those, because trying to fit them in after you've designed is not gonna work. Study the market. Sounds like most of you guys have brands already, but I like to take inspiration in many places when building a brand. I like to go to dispensaries in other states and see what products are performing there. I also like to go to CVS or Target or my favorite boutique and see what products on the shelves really stand out to me to help get some ideas for how to create my brand. Choose your target market and price point. Know who you are targeting. Find a small niche or a large niche, and make sure you know where your price point's gonna be. Are you gonna be a luxury brand, a budget brand, somewhere in the middle? You need to honestly know your prices first, your wholesale prices, so that you make sure that your cost of goods is covered by that. Choose your product. We have every category available to us in cannabis, which is very fun, also very overwhelming at times. It's like you can get disabled by choice. But my recommendation would be to start with one of these many categories. Build your products in that category first, and once you have success with those, move on to your next category. All right, so finding compliant packaging in New York. The unique thing about New York is that your packaging has to be not just child-resistant, but child-resistant resealable. This is different than most markets. So make sure that you find compliant packaging. You can either work with a stock company, a company that keeps all the products in stock in the US, or you can go fully custom and go overseas to Asia. These are a few of the companies. Some of them I've worked for, some of them not. I've worked with. If you're going to Asia, you're gonna be looking at 10,000 units minimum order quantity and about 6 months of lead time. So just think about that. My recommendation would go to be, if you want to get to market fast, go with stock, maybe transition to custom later once you have more funding, because in stock you can buy like 50 at a time, 100 at a time, whatever it is, and the lead time is 2 to 3 weeks. And then you can just print your labels and put them onto that. And so basically what you should do, because there are hundreds and hundreds of packaging companies, call them up, ask for samples, make sure you have them in your hands before you start designing. All right, defining your brand style. This was one of my original Pinterest boards for Head and Heel. When working with designers, they like to have an idea of what you want your brand to look like. So the easiest way for most designers to do this is go find inspiration on the internet and create a board. And then when you find your graphic designer, explain to them the elements of the packaging that you really like and want to see in your brand. So I loved some of these colors. I love the farm feel. I love the natural feel. And that's what inspired the Head and Heel brand. The other thing that you need when you're going to your graphic designer is a design brief. Every single word, every single period, every single capital, every single logo, every single icon, everything needs to be in this document. If you have a box, what's going on top? What's going on back? What's going on the front? Every single thing. So you're gonna go to your graphic designer with this design brief, with your Pinterest board, and that way they can start designing and you don't have a million revisions. Oh, I need this warning. Oh, I need this icon. And lastly, hiring a packaging designer. I learned the hard way that graphic design does not equal packaging design. Packaging designers have a specific skill set, and packaging is its own beast within the design world. So if you're gonna work with a graphic designer, they're probably not gonna set up your files properly for them to be printed, and they're just gonna have challenges throughout the process. So find a packaging designer, not a graphic designer. You can find designers on Upwork and set a price for the project. And if you have that Pinterest board, sometimes you can find the artists that did the work from those Pinterest boards. Maybe they work with one of them. You can also work with an agency. There are cannabis-specific packaging, branding agencies that they know their stuff a little bit more when it comes to compliance, but you still have to teach them everything about New York because it's different. But at least they understand the market a bit and can help you design that way. And last, you can work with a friend or family, but just know you get what you pay for. All right, so thank you. That is my presentation. You can scan the QR code, make sure you save it, and if you want to talk about branding and manufacturing or looking for somebody to make your products, reach out to me or find me today. Thanks, guys.